We're in a bar, cafe, whatever, somewhere near the centre of town, which is all little bridges and guessing who's not a prostitute out for a bike ride on a day off. The bar looks like a tea room from the outside and a brown tea room from the inside. Brown wooden tables and chairs, brown walls, and the bar itself all brown wood. The theme is brown, I'm guessing. It's a brown theme. The two things that you can buy are also brown, coffee and dope, which fell either side of the beer I want, intoxicationally. But the blow hits the right spot for Daniel. There's a menu on the table listing the types of dope you can buy. If you smoke enough, you can't read the menu afterwards. There's a big pixie grin of delight on Dan's face, a punch rictus of teeth and chin through his musketeer whiskers. Even in his room, there's no dope menu. This is very special. You can smoke dope in the bars here. I wonder why it's so special. I always thought that the fact that it was illegal was part of the thrill, doing something that wasn't allowed. Then it's allowed, so why is it still exciting? Can you tell how little I've done in my life? Yeah. He fingers the dope menu like it's a holy text, the dead head scrolls. There's a lot of variety, but I think it's all the same shit, with more or less hairball and pig scabs mixed in, depending if they think you can tell or not. If you smoke enough, you can't tell anyway, so that works. The girl comes up, she's dressed like Morticia, but she's not going to have existentialist sex with either of us. Well, me anyway. So I order a cup of coffee I don't really want, and Dan orders a bag of dandruff and rattling he really does want. This is what Amsterdam is all about. It's raining outside and people are wheeling bikes around like they're hills and canals. I wonder why I came again. There was some music playing in the bar, probably. I'm not in the mood to take any notice of anything apart from my inhuman condition. Daniel looks around the place from our table, even though it looks the same from anywhere you sit. He was in his element, if fake hippie haven appears on the periodic table. He approves of what he can see, which is all rose-tinted anyway. I'm hunched up, elbows on the tabletop, wondering where I can buy a paper, and wondering why I'm wondering that. I conclude I am turning into my father. Who else is in the bar then? Well, who do you think? Insert stereotypes here, as it says on the gates of Amsterdam. Probably people with long hair, improbable stories, and skin like old brown paper. People who have all visited India, taken all sorts of pointless treks and journeys, just so they can tell you about them afterwards, whose experience can only be cemented to their beings by drugs and endless retelling. Like the opposite of, say, a war veteran who takes drugs to forget, who the last thing they'll tell you is what happened to them. But these dope bar dog ends exist only through their own auto-fables, obscured by the smoke they exhale and try to blow up your ass. Vampira dragged herself back over with a little plastic bag of her own eczema for Daniel and a cup of congealed slurry for me. She hadn't spilled more than half of it into the saucer. This was the life. Okay, a life. Dan started rolling a joint in some kind of heightened state just because he couldn't possibly arrested just this once. He was almost glowing with the sheer validation. He was among his own kind, his brethren. I was hoping he wouldn't catch anyone's eye and get us all regaled by some refugee from his own life. Dan, and this'll shock you, Dan attracts this sort of person, maybe because they think he's an easy mark, or maybe they recognise the willing apprentice. Trouble is, Dan's had an accelerated apprenticeship and he's already pensionable. He skipped the Grand Tour board and gone straight to broken down old cunt. There must be some kind of theory about types of people. Wake me up when I've finished. There are people who attract friendly attention, like Dan. People come up to him and chat, exchange a word, make sure he's not dead, etc. Then there's guess who, me, who can sit on a 35-seat bus with 34 other people and the seat next to me will still be empty. What's that about? Me and Dan together, the signs are confusing. In combination, the equation becomes more complex. And at this point, I like to imagine chaos theory takes over. But all that means is I don't know what that means. Sometimes people will approach us, sometimes not. Dan never remembers, and I wish I was somewhere else anyway. So what's the point? Maybe he wishes people would leave him alone, and maybe I just want to be loved, but not by anyone who'll love me. We thus provoke our own experiences because Dan's indifference to company attracts people, and my misery doesn't. Well, your hour's up. See you next week. Try not to kill yourself meantime. Let's do an itinerary. Make a list. Stuff we can do. All right. Got a pen? We had to get a pen from Lady Macbeth. She slouched over to the table and then to the bar and back to us with a pen, all in only about a quarter of an hour. Then we had to get some paper from her too. She loved us. I wanted to call her over again and ask her where she'd been all my life and if she had a return ticket. Okay, itinerary, things we can do. Nobody ever makes a list of things that can be, do they? He smoked. Here's what'll happen. I write one, you write one, and that way we can both do stuff we like. Okay. I paused. Listen, we don't make simple-minded plans like this all the time, do we? We don't wear sleeping caps and hold candles on saucers and lie in double beds together, being afraid of ghosts or something. We're not Laurel and Hardy, okay? This is a perfectly good way to make an itinerary. I'll start. Okay, Ollie. Fuck right off. I think for a minute. I'm not used to making plans, looking forwards. It's all a bit of a blank, an unexplored wasteland. I panic and write, leave college, die, and push the paper over to him. He writes, Roy Bar on it and pushes it back. I write, no, and that's pretty much it for the itinerary. Hell, why did we come? The air moves quietly a little bit. Time slips by. We don't look at each other for a while. When he speaks, I turn back, but he still looks the same. I look down at my coffee and hate it. I hate coffee. It says Amoco Cadiz on the side of the cup. Stuart paid someone for a hand job in Amsterdam, didn't he? Oh, God. He went in somewhere and you sit in a cubicle, like a toilet cubicle, and there's a hole in the wall. Stop. He said someone's hand came through the hole and it gave him a hand job. And it was his dad. Is that the story? He said it cost 15 quid. Well, his dad's cheaper. Someone comes in, or maybe someone left, who cares? They disturb the smoke above our table. My coffee seems to have set. Anne Frank. No, he never knew who it was. Her house is in Amsterdam. We should put that on the itinerary. What the fuck is all that about with Stuart anyway? Well, it's Jean Genet, isn't it?